Good morning. So I heard some of you have actually visited our organization, King County and Finance and Business Operations. If you haven't yet, we have a tour for our lean process improvement that we've implemented about 4.5 years ago. So every Monday, we're on Eventbrite. Just put King County Finance and come and see us. So as I mentioned, we've been on our lean journey about 4.5 years. And this is a story about people side of lean and trying to work on people instead of processes for a change. I'm going to play a short video instead of me telling you our stories first so that you can get a gist of it. So this is our leadership team. So we have about 200 employees. So we may not have puppies or babies to save every day, but people care deeply about things like debit and credits and compliances and rules. Exciting, right? So everyone cares really a lot about, good job they deliver. We have very competent managers. We have 5 different lines of businesses, very distinctive businesses. So how many of you actually have go-to meetings and people really don't speak their minds? And after the meeting, you have meeting after meeting. Great. So you've been there. Conflicts are a hard thing to do. We're human beings. We're taught to avoid them all our lives. And all of a sudden, now we come to work. We actually have to confront each other and share our opinions respectfully, right? That's the hard stuff. So we had these really competent managers who were great at what they were doing, but we didn't see each other as a team. We met each week about 90 minutes. A lot of meetings are informational. There wasn't robust discussion. There was a lot of meeting after meetings. Because if you look at it, it's not a unique problem in King County or anywhere else. Any large organizations, if you asked me 3 years ago, who's my #1 team? I would have told you it's the people who report to me. I care deeply about their life and how happy they are and their growth. Not so much about my peers. We didn't really have that understanding that we are a team. Except the only thing that brought us together every week was our lovely boss, Ken Guy, we all report to. And that was it. And we didn't have purpose, common mission. Actually, I have to tell you, when we start working on a lean journey, that brought us closer than ever because we finally had true north we were aiming together. Otherwise, purchasing manager doesn't really care about property tax collections and not really much about payroll administration. It is so distinctive silos. But how many of you have read a book about Patrick Vinciani's book about 5 dysfunctions of team? Yeah, quite a few of you. So this model is based on that book. So we actually took all of us to a 2-day retreat to go through a workshop, and we did some team assessment. Results weren't pretty. And actually, we read the books together too. And we actually saw ourselves in the book, which was kind of funny. If you read the book, it talks a lot about, their biggest debate was company picnic. Our biggest debate we had 3 years ago was division-wide events. Everyone was heated because we saw ourselves in the conversation. Not because we did not care about each other, not because we are not decent people who wanted to do a good job. So when we did a DISC assessment before our retreat, this is us. We have a lot of these. We get stuff done. That's why we got promoted. I am one of them. I get along with a lot of these. But we also have S's and C's and, I's. Our boss is an S. He loves data. So in the past, foolishly, I would make a lot of compassionate argument with him, trying to persuade him, trying to make him see my ways and what I was trying to get at. I got nowhere because he needed data, spreadsheets, numbers, what others have done. Have you talked to so-and-so? Where do your facts come from? Now, after the workshop, if I don't bring data to my boss, it's shame on me. So our conversations and understandings of each other is a lot richer. So before the workshop, this was our team assessment, a lot of reds. But believe it or not, we were really effective organization. Hard to see it from this triangle. We got a lot done. We were one of the best run government organizations in King County. We were ahead of a lot of our peers. But we were also very competitive. We were good at what we were doing, but the workshop brought us together, sharing a lot about our personal history. So it was for the first time I got to know a lot of my managers and who they are as a person. And that foundational trust helps us a lot when we get to a conflict situation. Now I know how best handle conflicts with my coworkers because I know their conflict styles and how they come up. A lot of these interesting facts were very strong-willed. We like our ways. So when I have an argument with a D, we both get stuck in our position. And the comparison report will tell you, do not compete with this individual because you will both get stuck. So funny part is that now when I have conflict with one of the D individuals, we talk about that. Remember the comparison report? It tells us not to compete. But we're competing. So how can we resolve our conversations? So it got us to work a lot better, especially in a tougher situation. Our management team conversation was a lot richer. We did tons of icebreakers. People hated it in the beginning because we're logical people. We like facts and data and logic. We don't do feelings. This is all kumbaya stuff, right? 2 years later, people love it. We were actually talking about a couple months ago, trying to get rid of some icebreakers. They were like, that was the only thing that brings us together and help us trust better. How can you take away icebreakers and replace it with a huddle? Was one of the suggestions. So it was amazing how far we came. And amazingly, a couple of brave souls volunteered and brought conflicts to a meeting. That's the hardest piece. When we actually disagreed vehemently at a meeting, but respectfully, and brought out all that drama that was in the hallway into the meeting got so much more interesting. It lasted longer. We actually went over time sometimes. If we ran out of time of having a discussion, we had to carry on to the next meeting. And that was amazing. So when that first happened, the manager came up to me after our meeting, goes, how did I do? Was that okay that I brought that up in the meeting? I was like, thank you for doing that. That was awesome. So when somebody models the behavior of healthy conflict, and it is okay in a safe environment, and your team members actually support it, it becomes a norm. It is okay to bring your opposing opinions at the table and with your strong emotions. However, we do it respectfully. That's all that matters. So a year later, beauty of this system is not just two-day workshop. After the workshop, you walk away with a lot of to-do lists and follow-up works. So we developed norms. We knew how to do conflict better. We had accountability method. We came up with a hand signal timeout, the universal one, when we are veering away from our norm. After all that hard work, we measured how much we've progressed. So I'm happy to say it's not a happy ending story. But however, it's a progress. We've made pretty significant improvement, 3 out of 5 floors in this model. It's not, over and done with. We're continuously revisiting. We had fortune of having Integris. Actually, Evans facilitated the first session with us, and Gwen's helping us moving on, checking in. So we have every 3 months check-in sessions and seeing how we're doing. And because we love the results from the management team meeting so much, we actually rolled it out to division-wide. So Carol will tell us a little more about what happened after the leadership.
You can take that. Hi, I'm Kara Cazzetto. I'm the Continuous Improvement Manager for FBOD. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I was one of the lucky ones that got chosen to be certified to lead 5Bs, and I've led 7 teams through the process so far in 2018. And it really was based on the results from our 2017 staff satisfaction survey. While we increased in our engagement scores and the overall participation, there was one score that really stood out to us on the engagement survey, and that was around accountability, and specifically around my supervisor holds my peers accountable to unproductive behaviors. And it was like 30 percentiles lower than all the other scores on the staff satisfaction survey. So what could we do about this? How could we increase accountability, not only from the supervisor down, but peer-to-peer accountability, which is the hardest, as we know, right? And so we recognized and realized the great work that the leadership team was able to go through. We decided to bring it down to all the teams. So as Anju mentioned, we have 25 teams. Our goal is to get through half of them by the end of 2018. These are some of the results from the teams that have gone through the process so far. But really what we're trying to do is create sustainability around this process, right? We don't want to spend 2 days in a room getting to know these models and our personality styles and then for it to just die on the vine. So that's part of what I'm here to do. So we have all of these pyramids posted on folks' tier boards, if you're their visual management boards. We have the team norms posted in the area as well. Team members have their disc wheel posted, so they're aware of their disc styles. I just finished up with a team last week, and they had a brilliant idea. Why don't we post our disc styles on the outside of our cubicle so when people approach our desk, they know what our style is and they know how to approach us. We need information. We don't need information for our eyes. We need to make it this coolest thing ever, right? So we have tools that we know how to approach our peers. Also with the team norms, it's built-in accountability, right? We have it documented, it's on the tier board. If people are demonstrating behaviors that are outside of what the team has agreed to, they point to the sign. And it makes that conversation all that much more easier. So our main goal is to really make this sustainable. Our plan is to get through the rest of the 25 teams by the end of 2019. And really, how do we sustain this and make this really the foundation of the culture of FBOD moving forward? So thank you.